Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Rank the Movies video. Alright, well, I've been talking, movies that don't have a great reputation. I don't really have a word for this month, because I'm getting a hit or miss here. We started with Dungeons & Dragons, we've done Crank and Crank 2. Now it's time to talk about a movie I've never seen before, whereas those ones I'd seen Crank previously, I had seen Dungeons & Dragons previously, but this is one I've never seen before, and that is Popeye the Sailor Man. Well, Popeye, I guess. The movie is just called Popeye. Popeye is a sailor man. That's why there's the song, Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. Yeah. Well, I feel like I should have a rant about this movie. There should be a rant, but I feel like this movie was just so bad, I can't vocalize the rant. Beyond the fact that there's some great glimpses of Robin Williams in this movie. It stars him as Popeye, Shelley Duvall as Olive Oyl. There's some great glimpses of Robin Williams' genius at a couple of points, but not enough to make this a good movie. He's really, you can tell this is an early Robin Williams film, that he is just following the script and doing what he's told to do. They're not really letting him out of his box yet to be a mastermind, but the few moments he is let out of his box, he is quite brilliant in this movie. But that's the best I can say about it. It's a musical. I did not know that going into it. I did not know this was a musical. I thought it was just Popeye. I thought it was a straight movie. And it turned out to be a musical, and it might be my least favorite musical of all time. There isn't one, like, really catchy song. I mean, there's the Popeye the Sailor Man song, which is from the cartoons, but that doesn't count. That's not an original song. That's a holdover. As for all the original songs, they kind of all just suck. And then there's another one, and it sucks. And there's another one, and it sucks. And they're kind of quiet, and they're not anything special. It's just singing. Like, not even that. I'm not even doing this justice. Like, when I said it was quiet, I'm not lying. Like, the music isn't real loud. Like, you can just kind of hear the music. You can kind of hear the singing. But there's nothing special at all about what this movie is doing. As far as its musical points, it almost seems like it was shoved in at the last second. Somebody went, oh, we should add music to this movie. So anyways, Popeye arrives at Sea Haven, which is a shipping village, or a seaport, I guess it's a seaport, and everyone's afraid of him, because he's a stranger, but it's a seaport, so I have to imagine they get a lot of strangers, and these are the worst people ever, because, you know, they're afraid of every stranger. How do they make business? Just between each other, but apparently there's a tax man who overtaxes them for the Commodore who's never seen, but the Commodore's man is Bluto, and Bluto's man is the tax man. It's weird. So Popeye shows up, he takes a room at the Oyls' house, which is Olive Oyl, her mother, her father, and her brother. Olive Oyl is set to get engaged to Bluto, who again is, he's called Captain Bluto throughout the movie. He is the Commodore's agent in the town. The Commodore has never been seen. No one's met the Commodore, but apparently the Commodore has a boat. This is brought up late in the film, that the Commodore has a physical boat. And because of that, because they say that they've never seen the Commodore and nobody knows who the Commodore is, I didn't put together that the Commodore was going to turn out to be who he was in the movie, because it just felt like, I assumed the Commodore wasn't a real person and Bluto was just using that term to have power, because that's really how it felt as the early stages of this movie proceed. Olive Oyl decides to run off on her engagement party and not get engaged to Bluto, and runs into Popeye, who is then delivered a baby. He's delivered Sweet Pea, is the baby's name, or is the name the baby gets. And Popeye decides to raise Sweet Pea. He's actually given the baby. Like, the letter says it's for him. Like, somebody is leaving this baby so they can settle their debts. It should take about 25 years, and then they'll take their kid back. Popeye, who's arrived in this village because he himself is an orphan, or orfkin, as the way he says it. If you can understand anything Popeye says, because Apparently all of Robin Williams' dialogue was unusable, so they had him ADR in all of his dialogue. But he is so quiet doing this Popeye voice, and again, that you just can't hear him. I had to turn the subtitles on just to understand what he was saying. Like, I can understand everyone else's dialogue, especially Shelley Duvall's Olive Oil, who kind of hit that annoyance of olive oil right on the head. But yeah, I kind of, he was just so quiet. And I felt like that was bad. That was a bad choice, and that he should have been given more of a boisterous kind of voice and been louder. But anyways, Popeye takes the kid, and you find out the kid can predict the future by going toot toot. That kid toot toots the future. So I'm really going through this plot quick, and this is a 2-hour-long movie. So Bluto kidnaps the kid or he bribes Wimpy with a hamburger. And I started watching this movie, and the first thing you see is Wimpy, and I'm like, I swear to God, if I hear I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today, I'm revolting. It's in a song. They put it in a song. They put that line in a song. It's in a song. It's a part of the musical score of this movie. If I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. It is part of the musical score of this movie. I didn't think I was going to rant, but I'm just getting angry thinking about what I just watched in Popeye the Sailor Man. Or Popeye. It's just called Popeye. Why it's not called Popeye the Sailor Man? Because everyone knows it's Popeye the Sailor Man. I don't know. But it's just Popeye. Popeye. I-E-I. I know how to spell, damn it. Or at least simple words. I know how to spell simple words like pop, P-O-P, and I-E-Y-E. When did this become the spelling bee? I don't know. Anyways, Olive Oil and Wimpy go and they investigate because he's taken to the Commodore, and this is when we learn the Commodore has a ship, which we never knew beforehand. Again, it just sounded like the Commodore just wasn't there in Sea Haven. And they find out the Commodore is actually Popeye's dad. He's got the big bulgy arms, and it's an actual character, and I forgot Popeye's dad was an actual character of the Popeye series, so why the hell would I have thought the Commodore was going to be Popeye? Maybe if I had read more Popeye when I was a kid and watched more Popeye when I was a kid, I would have understood this. But anyways, Popeye is the Commodore who's a bastard, who lets Bluto tax the town for every nickel and fucking dime. But yeah, Bluto brings in the kid to predict the future. But Popeye's dad doesn't like Poop Deck Poppy, is what I think he's fucking credited as. Doesn't like kids. So he doesn't want him, but Bluto gets angry in the middle of a song, because again, it's a musical for some reason. Bluto gets angry at Poop Deck Poop Deck Pappy, for some reason, and ties him up, and then hoists him in the air. Because tying him up wasn't going to detain him enough. Putting him slightly off the ground was going to make it better. Anyways, Olive Oil and Wimpy go to tell Popeye that they found the Commodore, they found Sweet Pea, they found Captain Bluto, and they found his dad, all in one place. And that the Commodore is his dad, and he's a villain. As Bluto takes Sweet Pea and goes off to find a hidden treasure that Poop Deck Pappy hid long ago and has been telling Bluto about, so Bluto will obey him. Because Bluto's a fucking idiot. And totally, like, I don't even care about Bluto in this movie. He's basically unnecessary. Other than they needed the antagonist. Anyways, Bluto goes off after it, and Popeye shows up to save his Pappy, and Pappy first says, "No, you're not my son," but very quickly, relinks and says, "Oh, you're my son." It has no meaning. It has no value to it. Nothing in this movie matters. You find out Bluto has kidnapped Olive Oil off screen and is just carrying her to his boat because, that wasn't a scene we needed. We didn't need to actually see our villain kidnap our heroine. No. We can just have her slung over his shoulder as he runs to his boat, and that's fine. Whatever. Fuck it. Poop Deck Pappy begins to chase after him with Popeye and the fucking town, apparently. Like, every character who you might recognize throughout this movie, not because you know Popeye, just because they keep showing the fuck up, is on this boat chasing after Bluto and Olive Oil and Sweet Pea. And Popeye wants to save Sweet Pea and Olive Oil, and Poop Deck Pappy just wants to stop Bluto, so he rams Bluto's ship, but luckily, nobody's on it! And then Popeye and Bluto have a fight with an octopus. There's a fight with an octopus, and Popeye and Bluto also fight. I don't know what the octopus had to do with anything or why the octopus was there, but there was an octopus. And Bluto kicks Popeye's ass until Poop Deck Pappy makes Popeye eat his spinach, or I guess Bluto makes Popeye eat his spinach, and then Popeye punches Bluto once, and then goes and punches the octopus. The octopus flies into a new generation, and Bluto flees, because apparently one punch from Popeye is better than an actual fight scene! So Bluto flees, and then we find out Poop Deck Pappy's fucking treasure is a fucking memories of his son, because he didn't want to be a dad, but he said it, I'm not your dad, but his treasure is memories of his son. So fuck you, Poop Deck Pappy. You are a bad father for looking at your son who looks exactly like you, except slightly younger and in a different color sailor suit, isn't your kid. And then going, oh, look at this, I got a picture of my son that just says my son on it, and Popeye has a picture of his Poppy, Pop Dad, whatever, that just says my dad. It doesn't actually say my dad, it says my Pappy. I think it says Pappy. Because comedy, I guess, I don't know. And fucking Bluto's defeated, the octopus is defeated, and Popeye sings and dances to Popeye the Sailor Man. As we end this thing of cinema, this waste of 2 hours of anyone's life who were to sit down and watch it. Why is it on Blu-ray? Why? Who likes this movie enough that they want it on Blu-ray and have it on a digital copy? I don't know. I own it, but I'm not going to own it for much longer because now I've watched it. Now I don't need to watch it again because I've watched Popeye the Sailor Man. I've watched Robin Williams mutter his way through this piece of shit movie. And I've watched Shelley Duvall probably actually do the best performance of her life because she basically reminds me of Olive Oil in anything I've ever seen her in. So, and it's mainly The Shining, but whatever. She reminds me of Olive Oil anyway, so she did a great job. Props to Shelley Duvall. That was a great, well cast there. But yeah, I don't, this is such a bad movie, and it's such a bad musical. That yeah, it doesn't have merits in the music department, because it's not, oh, well, it's a bad movie, but there's some catchy-ass tunes. It's like, this is a bad movie, and I could care less about a single song in this entire movie. There isn't one song that stands out musically or lyrically that redeems it. It's just bad. It starts bad, and it ends bad. And it has bad editing, because at one point Popeye takes off a rain slicker at the beginning of the movie, and yes, get a good close-up of him rolling it up, just so when the taxman shows up, he's putting the damn thing back on again. Like, it's fine, you have him take it off to show his bulgy arms, and then he puts it back on, so you don't have to keep sticking the fucking prosthetic on Robin Williams. But why the close-up? Why not cut the close-up of him rolling up the freaking raincoat, and just have him take it off, get the shot of the arms, cut to the taxman, and then he's just putting it back on again. Yeah, it seems really fucking weird he's putting it back on again, but at least he doesn't roll it up for some reason like he's about to stow it away. Yeah, this is a bad movie. If you ever get the chance to see Popeye starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall, don't watch it. Watch anything else. Pick any other movie. You know what? Maybe watch All About Eve. I don't think this movie's better. I don't think that's a better movie, but it's a fuckload more entertaining. Yeah, no, don't watch Popeye. Don't watch it at all. I'm really surprised at how angry I got for this review, because I really wasn't that angry watching it, but now that I'm talking about it and processing what I watched, I'm getting angry. I got angry from processing. The processing made me angry. The process has made me angry. But yeah, don't watch it. It's shit. It's not worth it. Save yourself 2 hours. Watch Paint Dry. It'll be more entertaining. Watch Paint Dry and listen to your least favorite musician, because that'll still be more entertaining than this movie. Alright, well, we've covered 4 movies this month, and there's one left. We got one movie left for this month, and it is a movie I have seen more times than I've ever wanted to say. A movie I have owned more copies of than any other movie I've ever owned. And it might actually be the worst movie. It's probably not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it might actually be my least favorite movie. One I repressed all of my memories of it until I ran across a copy of it randomly one day, and everything just came flooding back. And I decided, what the hell, for everyone's entertainment who watches these videos, I'm gonna watch it one more time, I'm gonna review it, and then I'm never, ever, ever going to watch that movie again. Tune in next week for my review of the David Arquette classic, C-Spot Run. Don't forget to like this video, comment if you got something to say. Maybe you really like Popeye. Maybe you find it ironically funny. I don't, but maybe you do. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any content like me bashing my head against this table when I talk about C-Spot Run. I'll see you next week. I'm gonna need a drink. Toodles.